Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome back to another training session with me. Today we are yet again working for quality instead of working for time. I'd like you to really focus on the movement, really squeezing all your muscles, breathing properly and going through those movements, focusing on a muscle-mind connection. Just like for the past few videos, we're going to be focusing on some weighted upper body exercises and core. We're starting, we will have three parts, A, B, and C. In part A, we will have push presses. If you have two lighter dumbbells, you're gonna do double dumbbell push presses. If you have one heavier weight, then you're going to do single arm push presses with a dumbbell or a kettlebell that you have at home. And then we'll have in and out jumps with alternating rows. I'll show you what that is. We have 3 rounds of 8 and 10 repetitions of the presses per side and 16 of the jump outs. And then we move on to part B, which is going to be biceps curls and triceps extensions. I will also show you how to do that with either lighter weights or heavier weights. And then for part C, we're gonna hit the core. All right. All you need is, again, either one dumbbell or one kettlebell that is a bit heavier, or 2 of the lighter ones that you might have at home. Let's begin with our warm-up. I'd like you to get down on all fours and go for 10 cat and cows. Alright, so starting here, hands are right under the shoulders. I'm gonna curl the back and an arch, nice and slow, 10 times. Next, you're going to lay down on your side. Hips and knees will close 90 degrees. And then you're laying down on your side and you're going to open. I'm going to show this seated first. You're going to open the arms, twist the torso, and then close it back in. It's called the lying T-spine rotation. It's going to look like this. So 90 degrees. Start from here, open as far as you can without twisting the hip. The hip is facing forward. And close it back in 10 times, nice and slow. And then bring the elbow back down, all the way, either touch the other elbow or the floor. Good. After 10, you're going to stay on this side, but now we are going to do side windmills. So I'm going to show it again. As you're laying down there, now your arm that is closer to the floor is straight out to your side. Then you're going to start parallel to it with the upper arm, and then you're going to draw the biggest circle that you can all the way back and down as far as you can, and reverse it. And the arm that is traveling moves as close to the floor as possible. Alright, let's go for 10. which is 5 there and 5 back. Alright, so I'm laying on my right side, right arm is out to the side. Left one is matching it, and then I start drawing a big circle as far as I can, trying to bring it down. Don't raise your arm, but I just want to show you I'm already down here. So I reach all the way down to my butt and I reverse it. Back up. That's 1 there. Back to 2 reps already. Alright? Keep breathing. Move slowly. Hips are facing forward. I'm not moving. Only the upper body, the chest, and the head. 4. There you go. There and back one more time. Good, and shake it off. You're going switch sides, starting with the T-spine rotations. So again, make sure that your legs are in a 90-degree position. You're comfortable on your arm here, and then you're gonna open the elbow all the way back as far as you can, and then close 10 times. Good. After 10, you extend the arm that is at the bottom. Relax the neck and the head. Start drawing your circles. Go slowly. 2, 4, 6. If it feels good, trace your arm with your head. I actually feel like I find a really good spot if I don't rotate my head. But we're all different. Alright, and relax, shake it off. Good. Alright, sit back on your heels. Lock the hands. And then push towards the ceiling in the middle. Then tilt a little bit to the side. Now pull against that one arm. Then other side as well. Let the arms fall. If you have really long arms, just be careful with this. Other than that, swing the arms back a few times. Let's say 5. Very good. And then give me a wide stance. Wider, it's like shoulder width or slightly bit wider. And again, you're gonna lock your hands, but behind your back. And you're gonna tilt forward, bring the heads above, but then bring your hands above your head and allow your wrists and your hands to pull your arms forward. So you lock them behind. Keep them straight. You can bend the legs slightly and allow the hand and gravity to do its job. Keep breathing. And relax, let it go. We're going to do this 2 more times. Right, let go, let it fall. And last one. And relax. Alright, moving on to our movements today. We are gonna focus on part A for now. Part A is going to be push presses and in and out jumps. So for the push presses, allow me to readjust this. For the push presses, if you have one dumbbell, one kettlebell, and I assume it's slightly heavier, which is great. You know the push presses by now. You're gonna dip and drive as hard as you can, pressing your heels into the ground, using the hips, using all that momentum, and your arms, your hands are essentially just tracing the way of the dumbbell or guiding the way of the dumbbell, okay? Don't let go of it though, but you're not supposed to press this up only with your arms, right? So all the power is coming from the lower body. You're gonna dip, drive as hard as you can, and then because you drive so hard, the dumbbell's already gonna leave your shoulders. For that, it's essential that the dumbbell is indeed somewhat on your shoulder. If you're just holding it out here to the side, it's not that efficient. Your wrist is gonna get really tired, potentially get injured, and also you're gonna work a lot harder than smarter. So at least one head should be somewhat resting on your shoulder, okay? You're gonna dip and drive. Lock it out all the way, well, as you can see, but elbow is locked out. We're going full range of motion. And then receive it, and so forth. If you have a single weight, if you have 2 lighter weights, then you're gonna do the same thing, but on both sides. If you have kettlebells like these, I suggest you holding on to the handles like this. It's gonna help you keep the wrist straight and not flicked back. Because if you hold on to the head, you're most likely gonna have your wrist kind of like flick back like this, whereas this one is a lot more stable. I hope you can see the difference. So we're going like this, keeping the wrist straight, dip, drive, full lockout on top. Trying to show that lockout here. All right, so this is gonna be movement number 1. 8 to 10 reps on each arm. If you're using both at the same time, then obviously 8 to 10 reps. 8 to 10 because I'm not sure about the weights that you have at home. The idea is that the last 2 reps are not very much desirable anymore, but you can still show good form. Okay, for the second movement of part A, you're gonna go for an in and out jump and then a single arm row, but you're gonna alternate the sides. We have 16 jumps, so you're gonna have 8 and 8 pulls. The way it's gonna look like, you're gonna have the weight here in the middle. Oh, wait a minute. So you're gonna have the weight down here, and you're gonna start from a plank hold, jump in and out, give it a row, a single arm row, and then in and out, single arm row. On these single arm rows, it's very important that your hip is gonna keep facing forward the whole time. Everything is stiff and still, and controlled. Big breath in, hold it tight, as if you're keeping that plank hold. The only trick is that you're also going to give it a single arm row, where you're focusing on pulling the elbow up high and behind, kind of like towards your hip. You want to kind of aim for the hip bone with your elbow. Meanwhile, the hip is facing forward, okay? All right, so this is now part A. Let's go. We have 3 rounds of 8 to 10 of the presses, 3 rounds of 16 jumps and rows. I'd like you to go and alternate the movements. So we're starting with push presses, then we're going in and out, jumps and rows, and then back to push presses, jumps and rows. Okay, let's go. Let me see. I want this to focus on the rows. And I'm gonna stand all the way back there so you can see me do the push presses. Round 1. Again, this is not for time. Rest a little bit after the first round. Wait until your heart rate calms down, if it's through the roof like mine. And then we're gonna approach round 2. I'd say rest about a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And on those rows, right? I'm also going pretty slow on them, I hope you can tell, because I really want to focus on staying as stiff and controlled as possible in the plank position in itself. And it might sound counterproductive, but The slower you go with that, the more controlled you are, the more work you put in quality work here. Because just jumping in and out really quickly and just pulling and smashing the weight down probably is gonna lead to you having your lower back drop down, kind of like arching, not great, and not really pulling high enough, not a quality pull, not using the right muscles, not focusing. So yeah, today is the time to slow it down and make it count. Alright, I'm moving on to round 2. If you need a bit more time, feel free to take it. If you already started, good for you. biceps curls, triceps extensions. So again, let's go over the variations depending on what weights do you have. If you have two lighter weights, let it be kettlebells or dumbbells, you're going to do double dumbbell or kettlebell biceps curls. It is important that you stand still, okay? You stand still on your feet. Feet are planted on the ground. You're grabbing the floor with your feet and helping the movement by pressing. You're gonna squeeze the butt, and instead of arching, you're gonna tuck in the tailbone. See the difference? This is like probably the most inappropriate thing that coaches do, but important. So you're gonna tuck in the tailbone. You're gonna also, instead of leaning back, you're gonna press down the rib cage. And from here, you're gonna have your weight in your arms, and all you're gonna do is curl those weights up, full range of motion, and then back down all the way. Notice how there's no hip hinging back and forth. Hips are not helping here. We're not using momentum. If the weight is very heavy, it might happen naturally, but try to minimize it as much as possible. You actually, this time, which we don't do much in CrossFit because it's not very functional, we're gonna isolate the movement. We're gonna do an isolated movement. So only working from the biceps, curling it up and down. And for the breathing, you're gonna take one big breath in, feel it in your tummy, and then you're gonna exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Or you're gonna inhale, exhale, inhale again, exhale. Okay, those are the two options. Now if you're working with one weight that is pretty heavy, you're gonna either grab the head of the dumbbell and do the curl that way. In that case, I recommend you sitting on the edge of something so the dumbbell can move all the way. So for instance, if I was gonna do that with this dumbbell, can you see the edge of this box? I think so. So I would sit on the edge of this box or a chair, sit very stiff, but there is also weight on my feet. It's a very stable position. And I'm gonna lean forward just a little bit, and then I would curl and lower it back down. I do not prefer it, and luckily this 15 kilo one is a weight that I can still curl holding in two hands. So I'm gonna go for curls this way. These are essentially all your options. So please pick one of those for this movement. And then, for the tricep extensions, again, if you have two smaller weights, feel free to go double tricep extensions with the smaller weights that you have. Again, isolating just like in the biceps curls, pretty much the same position, but you're gonna go from here. Oh, I can't even do this with the 8. So if you have very little weights or you're extremely strong, you're gonna do it in one hand each, or you can just use one here in the middle and then extend. I'm gonna try to show you that my arms don't go over. Okay, they're here, elbows are pointing upright, arms are straight following the line of my spine. Big breath in, exhale and extend, and bring it back down. So this is an option. Or if the weight is too heavy to do that, you can lay down, take your weight behind your head, grab it, and then bring it all the way forward and pause right here, kind of in the middle, above, well, a little bit above the belly button. Okay, big breath in. Now plant your lower back into the floor, no arching, no gap. You can push through the heels as well to help a little bit, but essentially that's just gonna help you keep the lower back stuck to the floor. And from here, you're gonna pull forward and slowly bring it back. I want you to go slow on the way back here, because then you can work both ways. So the way back works just as much, if not a bit more here, than the way up. So take it slow. All right, again, 3 rounds of 10 and 10. Let's go. Oh, sorry, this keeps needing to be adjusted. Okay, all right, let's go. Alright, shake it off. You might need a little bit less rest here between the rounds. That's perfectly fine. I'm already gonna move on to the curls. If you feel ready, go ahead and join me as well. Don't forget to hydrate all day, every day. part B. Well, part B, so at the end of the second part. All right, we have part C left, which is gonna be attacking our midsection or midline. Now, you can do this with or without weights. I'm gonna be doing it with weights and I encourage you to do it. However, if the weight is just too light, that it doesn't quite make sense, I get that. If it's just too heavy and you can't keep good form, I also totally understand that. So see how it works, see how it feels. The point is really, again, quality. So the safer and better that movement is, the more good it will do for you. Okay, so first we are going to have, single leg lift, but you're gonna hold the weight above yourself and lift your shoulder blades off the ground. Second movement, after a little bit of break, it's gonna be double leg lift in the same position, but now you're working with both legs at a time. And then the third one is going to be weighted straight-legged sit-ups. We have 3 rounds of 10 each. On the single leg lift, it's 10 each side. All right, I'm gonna show the first round slowly, so just join me already. And then round 2 and 3, you're doing it on your own. I mean, I'll be doing it too, but you can just do it at your own pace. Okay, so you're gonna take your weight, lay down, starting with the single leg lift, 10 each side, alternating. So, take the weight overhead. If you can, lift the shoulder blades off the ground, at least a tiny bit. You're gonna extend the legs. And you're gonna drive one leg down, flex the foot, okay? This is pointing, this is flexing. You wanna flex and drive the heel all the way down. Then you can either bring it back up or bring the knee up and extend again. The second version is a bit easier, but if it ensures your form, then go for it. All right, starting here. 1, 2, 3. You exhale on the way down. Fight for it, lift the shoulder blades off the ground and relax. Okay, give the hip flexors a little bit of a break. And then we go in with double leg lifts now, only 10. Again, weight is above, pressing the shoulders into the ceiling, shoulder blades off the floor, flex the foot, and down, and up, or down, knees up, extend, and down again. And we're exhaling on the way down, so big breath in. legged weighted sit-ups. Keep the legs straight. Squeeze the bum. It's gonna help a lot, I promise. And then we're sitting up. If you want a bit of extra work, bring the weight overhead. Okay, that was 10 each. Little rest, you have 2 more rounds. All right, last one. Alright guys, that was it for today. But if you are open to a suggestion, I'd like to invite you for a 20-minute walk. Pick out a few songs, like, I don't know, 6 to 10 songs that you really like, put them on a playlist or put them in a queue and get out. Then think about it, gloves on, hat on, jacket on, and walk it out. This is in theme of our low intensity session today. If you feel like this was great, but you want to spice it up now, go ahead, do some 100-meter interval runs or 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 10 rounds, hit it hard. But the point is that you are here, and thank you so much for that. I'll see you next time. Bye.